Welcome to the break room, ladies and gentlemen. We back up in this piece, man. It's break time. And I got a few guests with me today. I got my wife, my lovely wife, Kirsten. We got my man X in the building, Xavier. And we got D. We got our sister D up in the building right here.
Ow, what up?
So what's up, y'all?
What's
What
going
it do?
on?
What it do?
So, man, we out here today, man. We all out here in LA doing what we do. But we just want to bring out this topic about, current events, what's going on in the world right now. We got the Black Lives Matter movement going on right now.
BPRU.
Black people rise up all day.
Right.
We've been it's been a tilt in America right now, man. It's been crazy. Something we haven't seen in a long time. Very long time, with every major city rioting because of what's going on with this police brutality. And I think what was the tipping point was the George Floyd incident, killing. Let's say incident, killing,
Lynching, right.
murder.
Period.
The murder of George Floyd. But not to forget Breonna Taylor, that was right before it.
Right.
Not to mention, we got a couple of people in Florida. A woman blaming black folks for kidnapping her kids that she didn't kill. We got a preacher down in Florida saying that some black people kidnapped him so he can dip off in a hotel with his gay lover.
Oh wait, so today I just found out that some cop's wife or whatever in Florida vandalized their home and said it and put Black Lives Matter, spray painted it on the outside.
So
that ain't new. This ain't nothing new.
It's nothing new, you know what I'm saying? It's just now stuff start. It's just to a break. I think black people are standing up saying we got enough right now, and I think with this generation that's going on, this generation that's out right now, just like, look, man, we've had it, tired of it over the last. You just say over the last 8-9 years, just what we've caught on camera with the murders of all these black men and women. It's just out of hand, and I think to the point where now it's like, you know what, we've had enough, So just want to talk about that, man. Speak on that, man. I want you guys to get y'all opinions on what's been going on, and especially around the country. You know what I'm saying? You agree with the rioting? Do you agree with the looting? Do you what we stand on, the movement, the second degree murder charges, anything that's going on with this whole thing. Like, what are your thoughts on it? We can start with Kirsten on this one.
I mean, it's upsetting. It definitely, me personally, it pisses me off. It pisses me off because I think it pisses me off because people are like, oh, okay, now we see, now we get it. And it's like, excuse my French, fuck you mean now you get it.
Right.
Now. Right.
Like, this shit has been going on forever. And all it makes me think about is when people are like, well, slavery was a long time ago.
But was it though?
Right.
Was it
like,
really?
Segregation was a long time ago. And it's like, but
you know
it
what
wasn't.
else was? The Holocaust.
Right. And it's like, and that's the other thing. I don't like when people try to compare my struggle.
Right.
Like, my struggle is no comparison because guess what? My struggle is still going on.
Right.
Yep.
Like, when we have kids, I got JJ. I know for a simple fact, you automatically know that you're going to have to teach your child, because they are black, that he is a threat to society, and that when he gets pulled over, even if he does do everything that the cop tells him to do, there is still a possibility that they're going to profile. First of all, they probably profiled you when they pulled you over in the first place, because DWB is a real thing. Driving while black is a real thing, first of all. And hell, walking while
doing
black
anything
is
while black is a real
thing.
thing.
Right, period.
Breathing.
But that's something that you automatically have to teach your children. I automatically have to teach my kids, you gotta be 10 times better than the next person because you are black.
Right.
Period. Whether you're a black woman, whether you're a black man,
Black woman,
whether
you're 20
you're
times
black,
better.
anything, you gotta be better 10 times better than the next person because you're black. And when people sit up and say, oh, I get it. I see. Where have you been?
Right.
Under a rock?
In their own white world.
Yeah, in your own little world. But then you try
I
to
won't just say
claim me.
white.
But then you try to claim me or somebody as, well, I'm not that. I'm not racist.
I have a black friend.
I'm not a bigot. I have a black friend. First of all, if you say you have a black friend, that's a
racist.
problem.
Yeah.
And I think what made it like,
met your quota.
like,
Just
mind
about
you,
enough.
I have not had anybody killed personally by the police in my own family, but that could easily have been Jason when he got not even pulled over. He was just walking in Chinatown. And they profiled him, and they hit him with the whole, there's robberies in the area. Motherfucker, ain't nobody robbing nobody in Chinatown.
No, they're not.
Nobody.
Then they switched it to, it's been some kids playing.
Right.
We get reported about kids playing at the Red Line
Full
station.
of shit.
But
Do
you
I look like a kid? I'm a grown ass
man.
man
Okay.
right now, bro. Like, come on.
And so,
Like,
you know,
stop
that could have easily have been him. That could have easily have been any one of us getting pulled over in the middle of Bumblefuck, Indiana.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it could have been any of us. And I think what brought me completely, like, messed up to tears, because I cry often, but when we stood outside and shined the light
That was too much
for the
me.
8 minutes and 46 seconds,
Yeah.
that's a long time. That is a long time for
Anemic.
someone to have their body part, putting so much force on your neck that they are taking the life from you right under them. Like that right there, that alone, if don't nothing else piss you off, that alone.
But the audacity for you
Right.
to sit there with such
On camera.
cockiness, right,
Yeah.
knowing
Yeah.
that you were being filmed in front of all these people,
Right.
and you were so
You
protected.
didn't care.
That
And
it
I
didn't
don't
mean
give a
shit to
damn.
you.
I don't give a damn if he was on anything. I don't give a damn.
None
if-
of that
Which he
matters.
wasn't.
None of that matters, because that's what the little Chinese cop or Korean, whatever. I don't even care. I'm black, so I'm not finna be politically correct. God damn it. The little Chinese guy that was standing there, the cop. Oh well, if he's talking, he can breathe. Well, he was on drugs. So what?
You know how many white people are arrested on drugs
Exactly.
who have actually attacked police officers?
Oh, girl.
But they get
White
sat
people,
down.
they
they
can
get
do
water.
anything to
They
the
get
police.
water.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
get tripped
Chips
to
to
Burger
Burger
King.
King.
and shit. Right.
Like you
Burger
done
King.
killed, walked into a church and killed 9-10 niggas, and you get a trip to Burger King. I think
That's
it's a
because he
reward.
did their job,
Yeah,
right?
you-
For him. He's
you
Right,
like,
and
killed
let
you
me
some
go
niggas.
just
ahead
trying to
and
get rid of
just-
them
yeah.
anyway.
Let's say you want
Good
some Burger
job.
King, bro?
Like it pisses me off, and it's to the point where it's just like the whole world is saying enough is enough. Like I don't want to hear nobody's white tears.
No.
I don't want to
not
hear
at all.
nobody's excuses. If I don't want to, you definitely better not say no fucking all lives matter to me. Period. Because Black lives is what is the birth of this nation.
Right.
Black lives is what has brought everything here.
I'm gonna say,
Y'all
forget-
brought us over
I was gonna
here.
say,
Y'all
not
stole
just
us so
that.
so that y'all can build this country.
Right, but not just that, the brilliance of us as a people.
We
You're
set the
talking
tone.
exactly for everything. Most of the inventions, most of the patents, most of the shit that they walking around with right now was built from black minds.
Yep. Period.
So
Period. We set the tone, and that's why they don't like
and they
us.
steal our
That's
shit.
why they and they steal it, and then they fuck it up.
That's the best thing they've done.
Right.
Still, stole people.
They've
stole
stolen
ideas,
land.
stole
Damn.
Right?
Bruh.
What haven't y'all stolen?
That's their culture. Their culture is the culture
Stealing
of stealing.
shit.
But we are the one that's known as
Because
thieves.
they done
right?
stole from
Right.
Right.
They done
Right.
stole from the Native Americans.
Right. Took
Like,
all they
you know
land.
damn
If
well.
we learned it great from you.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
That's
Thank
what
you
I'm
so much.
saying.
No,
Can I
but,
just? I'm sorry.
oh,
I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I just want to say, man, like you said, Kirsten, like I'm mad, I'm pissed,
Yeah.
and you know what, it's not so much. Well, it is the fact that what happened to Mr. Floyd, but it's the fact that, like you said, now everyone's like, oh my God, there's a problem. the next
I
white
stand with
person,
you.
and I'm gonna say that just like that, the next white person who comes to me surprised, like they didn't know that there was a problem at all, that pisses me off to the 10th degree. Don't
believe
walk
this is
around
happening.
here. I can't believe what's
What?
going on.
I
Why
stand
would
with
they
you.
do that? Oh, that's bull. Don't give me that. I don't want to hear. I'm vetting everybody now. Any small comment you made
Yeah.
that was out of whack,
everybody.
any side look, all of that. I'm done being nice. I'm like
right.
I'm gonna fit that black angry mode now,
Yup.
cause like there's nothing left for me. Like what
Yeah.
do you want? Like we knelt peacefully, we
Mm-hmm.
marched peacefully,
Yup.
and y'all sent dogs on us,
Yup.
water on us. Y'all took our
Tear
jobs
gas.
away.
Yup.
Like come on, y'all
Bombs.
tried to blacklist my man Cap. Now everybody,
Yup.
oh, I'm mad. I'm just mad, fam. Like.
Yeah.
I got the right to be that stereotype of an angry black woman or an angry black
So
man.
you've been calling us that for so long. We're officially that. But let's
You ain't
let's talk
seen
just
angry
for a
yet.
moment about
That
this
part.
rioting bullshit.
Oh my
Now,
god.
let's take a moment and think about all of the, because there was more than one, not just in Oklahoma, of all of the black Wall Streets
Mm.
that were rioted
Mm.
and burned down from
Mhm.
white people.
Yep.
Not just white people. The police in Philadelphia dropped a whole fucking bomb on a black community. So don't tell me shit about rioting. I was happy to see young black boys beating the shit out of a police car. Yes, beat up on the oppression that you've been stuck in so many times unjustly. You're right. Set that bitch on fire, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Now, am I gonna go out and riot? No, I'm not, personally. But do I care that they rioted? Fuck no. You know I don't care? Because you've been burning and taking our communities from Jump Street. Y'all decided, y'all thought, okay, slavery's over, we won't give you shit, and we'll see what happens. And then we thrived. We thrived better than y'all did because
We know how
y'all
to-
didn't know how to do shit because we were doing it for you for free.
We can handle less.
Right. And so
We thrive in
now
that shit.
we're thriving
Yeah.
off of nothing, and we built shit out of nothing, and now y'all want to come and burn it down. But you know what I'm saying, so many decades later you say, oh, rioting is wrong, right? Nigga, y'all riot when a championship is won. Y'all
That-
flipping over cars
Cars.
downtown,
I was in
setting stuff
oh
on
my
fire,
God, I
and
was
you're
in
mad
Wrigleyville,
about
man.
something like
Woo.
that.
That is
Oh, you
real.
know, it's so terrible that they're rioting. I said, you
Yeah,
know
they
what's
gotta do
so
that.
fucking terrible? That a black man was killed on TV.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's what was killed. It was
Exactly.
public. That is
And
what
not
you
the
should
Y'all
be
didn't have
enraged
no
about.
outrage,
Not the
no,
first.
Not
no,
about these raggedy ass buildings that will be rebuilt because they have
And
insurance.
they're collecting insurance
Fuck
money.
outta
Now, I
here.
will say this. The thing that I don't agree with is us messing up our own community.
No, and I'm so glad they finally went to Beverly Hills to do that shit.
Yeah, in
Thank you.
LA. In LA.
In LA.
They did
You know
it
what I'm
right.
saying?
They went up to Beverly Hills. They went to Melrose.
kept trying to think, can
they
we
went
stop
to
them
Sunset.
from
I'm
our
sorry.
community?
I have no sympathy for the ones up there that lost their businesses because real talk, whether they were Jewish businesses or whatever the case may be, if I showed my black face, you looked at me side-eye. You
Yup.
side-eyed
Yup.
the hell out of me. You
Yup.
followed me around.
Yup.
You questioned if I was going to buy something.
Right.
Yes,
Yup.
you did. Yes, you did. And so in that case, I have no sympathy for you or your white tears. Now, as far as the other states that looted and rioted in our communities,
Come on,
like,
y'all.
come on, y'all. Don't fuck up your own
We gotta
area.
do better.
Like, don't fuck up your own area. Like,
Our
you need
uncle
And
and,
even the one-
family are holding down the last grocery store on the
Right.
north side of Minneapolis because y'all burned down your own
that.
community.
Yeah, like, don't, because then you feeding into the stereotype of what they already think of us, which is
Right.
dumb, stupid, that we gonna fuck up our own shit anyway, that we gonna go against each other anyway, because that's what they have bred it into us since they stole us from our
Right.
land.
And to the outsiders that then came into those cities and started burning stuff and rioting and
part
stuff
too.
too.
Right, that
Y'all
was
on
a
that
lot of
bullshit
it.
to try to
Yeah.
make us look
Yeah.
bad on that
Yeah.
too. So
Right.
Yeah.
that's unacceptable. And we've been taking the blame. They don't never catch that camera for the people that starting this stuff. But they show once they break in and open it up, they showing up make sure they get the niggas running out of there with
Right.
something.
Right.
But they showing up cut their camera when Karen was coming
Right,
out this
or they have
Target
an
with
idea of, oh, you
stuff.
know what?
Oh.
I wonder if she works there.
must
She
work
must
there.
work there.
What
Right.
worker
Taking as
you
a-
know
this
that's
bitch
going
got a whole
at-
2 bags
Right.
worth of shit in her hand.
I'm a worker.
I'm sorry,
I'm
we
at the
supposed to discuss
store.
I'm grabbing
If-
lamps.
She
She
in the
over here
middle of a
grabbing.
riot.
I see one
Right.
grabbing
Please
lamps
don't
out of there.
riot.
What up? You about to decorate your crib?
Now.
First of all, I'm not stealing no lamp. That's not even worth my time.
Right.
I better at least get a TV out the deal
I'm
or
not
something, a
stealing a lamp.
PlayStation. I gotta get something, bro. A lamp.
But
Come on, bro.
as a
Like,
business owner, I got to be honest with you. In our communities, we weren't allowed to have businesses.
well,
They
you know, our
weren't giving
business is
loans
there.
to us.
I made
And
it.
so, but then Chinese and all of them Koreans came into our communities and were given those business loans. They were given property. And so now we're giving money to them, but they're feeding off of the bullshit that white people are saying about us. And so now you got a problem with me being in your store and you're in my community. So I'll
Sure.
be honest with you. The revolutionary in me is like, hey, burn that shit to the ground too. All right? If it's you're in your community, don't burn the black
If
businesses.
it's black owned,
leave
it.
that alone.
I made a statement. My father told me, like, man, you was on there, said on Facebook, yeah, we got to stop burning down y'all community. I said, first of all, but 90% of the
We
things
don't
that's
own
in
this
that
shit.
community ain't owned by us anyway. So if you gotta hop in your car to go get grandma's medicine from somewhere else, man, hop in there, drive that extra mile and do it, because it's a cause. Because I mean, your grandparents and everybody, they done seen this before, and they should definitely be tired of the mess right now because they've been through it more than we have.
The only
I
thing
said,
is, though, then you giving money to those other neighborhoods that don't look like us.
It's true, but I'm
It's
saying,
all-
but
it's a
but none of them
catch-22,
look
to
like
be
us
honest
because
with you.
we still giving it, because even the Walgreens and the CVS that's in our neighborhood ain't owned by us. So either way it go, they corporation gonna still get the money regardless. So if I
That's
gotta
real.
go
I'm
to
just
another
saying,
what's the name?
I'd rather be in my community and go to the Walgreens up the street than having to
Yeah,
go
I mean it's
to the neighborhood where the people don't even want me
Right.
and they don't even like me, and they probably have also inflated the prices. Well, they inflated the prices in my area, but I don't want to go over there with Becky and Karen and Bob and Bill. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like,
right.
I would just rather go to the one that's over here that's close to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we figure out a better way
Right.
to get rid of.
And I want to
the
give credit
bullshit
to,
at that
like I
one.
said, man, uncles up in there in Minnesota, man, front line doing what they do, man, trying to have it as peaceful as possible. Don't get it twisted about the peaceful part.
Right.
Please don't.
They are
push
about
comes
that
to
It's
shit.
shove.
gonna shove. It's gonna be
Oh,
a
it's
shove.
going
We
down.
doing more than pushing back.
So
It's gonna
trust
be
and
some
believe that.
smoke in the shade.
But for holding it down out there, I want to give props to every athlete and entertainer and man that has a platform, a major platform, has been super outspoken about what's been going on. I mean, out here doing the protest with everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's showing the solidarity, man, because that's when we start getting torn. Cause it's like, oh, it don't affect them because they got millions in the bank, and then we got the other folks that don't have nothing. It affects you as long as your skin is black, man. It should affect
affects
you
you.
either way
Yeah.
it goes.
Yeah.
I give them credit even to a person like Michael Jordan that just came out and donated $100 million for the next 10 years.
You know he don't never donate to nobody.
For somebody that, so I mean he donates, but he
out
don't
front.
not out front.
Okay.
But for somebody, but he never speaks on
Yeah.
these
Yeah,
type of
yeah,
issues,
yeah.
and especially for his whole playing career. And that was one of the knocks on people, like, oh man, he never really took a stance on any one of these things.
But then you look at Colin Kaepernick, he took a stance and lost his job.
And lost
so,
everything, and y'all and
You
most
gotta
of y'all
have a
turned
mindset.
y'all back on him.
And
And
So
they did, right,
That's
most of us
the
turned our
reason
back
why.
on him with that. And he's standing there. He should have the face of the "I told you so." That's to be the "I told you so" of the year meme right there.
Man,
It's Cap.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
If I told you so was a person, that's Cap.
That would be
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Because what he did, and it's, I mean, just to take that and with the LeBron James of the world, man, he's steady been on it. You know what I'm saying? And even going at the heck, Drew Brees made his little statement. I'm sorry, Mr. Drew Brees. If anybody knows it, we can tag him and everything else. I want you to know that
Drew
we don't really
Brees.
give two shits about your
Ain't no
apology,
mysteries out here.
because that apology don't mean shit anyway, because you made the same statement 4
Yep.
years ago when Cap first did the kneeling and everybody else kneeling. You said what you said then, and you didn't apologize then. 4 years later, you made the same damn statement you made again. Only reason you changed your mind now is because your punk ass teammates finally said something to you. That's the only reason. And Twitter and social media, everybody trashed your ass. It's the only reason. So now I got to save face.
You don't
But
want to
you-
get fucked up this season.
but
You
That's
know,
what
so
it is.
that's all that was, because you didn't know.
Because I wouldn't block for you.
I so wouldn't.
but that's that. Yep.
And
That's the
what's gonna happen.
consequence.
Yeah.
You
gonna
got
get your ass
linemen that's
killed.
pissed off. You got receivers that's pissed off.
Let 'em through.
They was
Move
pissed
the
for
whole-
a second. Nope, but they was pissed for a second. But
Like,
then once
remember
he
the
gave,
Titans, you know, your man ain't blocking for him.
they let him. They got pissed for a second, but as soon as he apologized, everybody like, well, you know, I trust him, I believe him. You know, let's
Okay.
move on. No,
I'm
damn
good.
that, because your apology didn't mean shit. Because I'm sorry, if you couldn't learn in the last 4 years since you made that statement,
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
so you got to tell me you learned it in 3 hours.
Exactly.
Miss me with that bullshit,
Exactly.
bro.
You did.
And-
Like it don't happen. You ain't learned our plight in
did.
3 hours when you couldn't learn it in 4 years.
Yep, and
Or
that's
all
why I'm
the
mad.
years
'cause-
you've been playing
Yeah,
football,
'cause-
because you've been had niggas on your team since you've been playing in high school. So since college, you done had niggas on your team. In all your years of 15, 16 years in the NFL, you've had plenty of niggas on your team, and you
That was
can't
a dominant
not.
race.
You
I
haven't
get
been
it.
able
You're
to
not gonna
identify
understand,
with
but it
any of
never
them,
it never
apparently.
touched your heart. You know what I'm saying? This didn't. It wasn't your plight, so it didn't matter. So miss me with that. But somebody kneel. You can stand up for this punk ass flag that's been killing niggas all day long. You can stand up for that though. Oh my God,
Right.
you're disrespecting the flag and, the anthem.
And
Don't
time and
give
time
two shits
again, we
about this
keep telling
country.
them it ain't even about the flag.
It's not. It wasn't about-
ain't about
that's
the
their
flag.
excuse, because
that's,
they're
that's
president.
what we gotta do for y'all to stop and pay attention. Oh my God, they're kneeling. We're kneeling because
Peacefully,
police
though. Peacefully, though.
Peacefully, because police continue to kill us. And we're protesting peacefully so we can bring awareness to y'all. And y'all, oh my, why they keep doing this? Like you said, if they ain't
They
learned in
don't-
the
they don't
last
wanna
4
know
years,
why. They just say it's
I don't want to hear.
disrespectful.
Yeah, I don't want to hear your excuses now. Don't slide on me with them excuses. Don't slide. Well, I don't understand. I know, and I know what side of the coin you fall on. So I can't
Right.
ride with you. It's that simple. I
think
can't
that
ride
you.
with you.
I think
Look.
that y'all these and these little weak little charges y'all try to throw up on these officers,
That's that
so they can get
bullshit.
off of every single time a second-degree murder charge, and we actually sat there and watched you
First degree murder.
first-degree murder, capital murder. This
Right.
this man, plain and simple. You can almost say it's premeditated because you
Oh,
already
it
knew
was
the dude. Since you
premeditated.
knew the dude, you
It
knew
was definitely
him.
premeditated.
That's definitely grounds for premeditated murder. So, and everybody that sat there and watched you do it, and they helped you beat his ass before you got him on the ground. We saw the cameras. We saw y'all whooping him in the truck. You know what I'm saying?
So I'll say this though about the charges, because at first when I first heard what they gave him,
the third degree offense.
I was like, that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But from the attorneys that I have spoke with and the ones that I follow, I kind of understand why they started at a low level or whatnot, to make sure that they didn't shoot too high and then they come back with some bullshit. Then you can't go back
Yeah.
and and get them or whatnot. And the system that we live in,
Exactly.
even though it can be blatant right in your face, oh, he killed him, we already know they'll find 50 million reasons of why it was okay, or why he, or how he didn't do it, or it wasn't him, because they've been doing that for years.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? They've been raping, white dudes been beating their wives and stuff like that. White women been dipping out with black men, but then
Right.
want to yell rape because they think somebody is gonna find out. And guess what?
You got another black man.
The black
lynched in
man
a tree.
goes to jail, even though there's all the evidence that says, oh, no, he didn't do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they always find a way because all of them work together in the system.
Yeah.
Right.
So I understand why they started the charges low, but me personally, I do feel like it should be a first degree
Oh yeah.
murder, period. And we don't know if it will happen that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the other officers also need to be.
Oh, I
look,
think they should all.
they
be charged
all
to the
need
fullest
to be
extent of
the
law,
same
as
way
they say.
that they make us as an example. They use us as an example to give us the worst charges in the whole wide world.
Right.
Give us jail for damn near our entire lifetime. It's the same way they need to make them an example of if you continue to do this,
Yeah.
this is what's gonna happen. They need to be up under the jail, and they don't need to be in no solitary confinement. Cause I bet you when they get in that damn prison, they get their ass whooped. Period,
yeah.
point blank, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You did the same shit to somebody else. You
Yep.
should have thought about that shit before you started putting
Thinking that you were
evil
untouchable.
into the world. Exactly.
Right.
And that's the problem with them. And granted, let me say, all police are not bad. You know what I'm saying? I have friends that are police officers. I have
Just like all black people
People ain't
aren't
bad.
criminals.
Yeah, that's what I was
Right.
gonna say. Like the
Exactly.
fact that we even gotta sit here and
Right.
say that. Like
Right.
I'm not gonna waste no words on that.
Yeah.
You already know that. We're not talking about them. We're
Yeah.
talking about the ones kneeling and
that's,
killing us.
and that's one of those
It's that
things where
simple.
it's like if you If you are offended by it, then you're probably
Probably
the
right.
problem.
Yeah,
Right.
you're probably the problem.
To go back just for a second, as a parent with both a boy and a girl, my only objective is to make sure, like you said, that they have to know that they have to work harder and everything else. But you're dealing with building up kids that know that when they get out into the world hates them. And so, like, what do you do to make sure that you're instilling in them what they need, so that when, as far as their self-confidence and their self-esteem is concerned, that when they get into a world that don't look like them, that doesn't care about them or their success, that they can actually compete and win. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, we laugh and we make jokes because our kids are, you know what I'm saying, hella black and hella proud.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think of, you know, either going a docile route and saying, oh, you know, these things, you know, you should know about this, or giving it to you raw, like, look, this is the deal. This is what you need to know about the world that we live in. This is your history. You know what I'm saying?
Got no choice.
There's
No,
no
you
more
don't.
time
None.
to play games with what they need to know. They need the information. They need to know their history. They need to understand how brilliant they are. And they need things at home that look like them. So if your dolls aren't black or your books aren't black,
Right.
that's one of the first things we need to be doing. We need to be supporting our own black businesses. We need to be putting the things that we can to instill in our children so that they can survive in this world that does not want them here.
And on top of that, man, we gotta vote. Like, I know people say it all the time, but y'all,
It's true.
like, it's one of the only tools that we have
Yeah.
to
It's true.
affect
Hold on.
legitimate
Before
change.
you go into the vote, give me a second. We're gonna take a little break. We'll be right back at you.
Let me go get a light.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we back on it, man. And so, I want to pose this question right here: is what's next? Like, what's next? And before we took a little break, you actually was about to start talking about voting. So that's give me your thoughts on that one right there.
Yeah, and it's so simple, so easy, man. We gotta go out and vote, and it, like, we can get into the semantics about who you should vote for. I just want y'all to go out and vote, because at the end of the day, and then especially with your small local, the small local elections, because those are the
Yes.
those are the elections
Yeah.
that change the policies in your communities, in your towns. You know, you got ordinance. I'm trying to think. Ordinance votes that are in those elections. Like, those matter, and like half of us don't even bother to go out and vote on those days. So we
They
got to
get
make sure we
mad.
doing our part. Yeah.
They get
Right.
mad,
And
right?
just to, you know, go back, for those that didn't vote within this last election, y'all are the reason Trump got in office.
Yep.
I said it.
Yep.
But one of the things, and we were talking about this inside, about what needs to happen, is that, oh, defund the police, do this and this and that. And I mean, like, I get it. But when you think about teachers, we were talking about, and when the whole charter system came in, they literally fired teachers and made them reapply for their jobs. So as far as I'm concerned, we need police reform, and we need to fire everybody, and everybody needs to be vetted.
Better training.
And-
You can
right.
do it for
Yep.
teachers.
And
You
your
can do it for the
training is
police.
longer in to be what? Like,
a barber. You
a
gotta have
barber.
1,500 hours to be
Yeah.
a barber, but you
But
to graduate, but you gotta have 800 hours
to
to
be
be a police officer.
a police officer.
Hey, they ain't gotta deal with people like that. All
Right.
you gotta do is cut your hand, get you
We
out
don't
my
even
chair.
know if you're scary. You know what I'm saying? That should be a requirement. Like, you
A
know
lot
what I'm
of
saying?
cops
How
are-
are your nerves?
A
A
friend
lot of
of
cops are
mine-
people that got bullied
Right,
and they
a
ready
friend
to
of
take
mine-
their-
Right, and so they take it all
No,
out
no,
on you.
but-
Right.
A friend
Or
of
they
mine
were in
put
the
out-
military and they still want to be able to shoot people. So that's, you know what I'm saying?
One of the homies
Maybe a
put
good
out
way
a
to do
thing
it.
saying that, you know, you should only be able to be a officer in your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
or,
what makes sense.
Or if you're not in your neighborhood, you got to spend some time in that neighborhood where people are getting to know you. You're getting to know people, so then you know who you policing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they just pulling in people that don't like us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But they
and
come
that don't
from
want
other
us here.
Well, I
neighborhoods
think
who
that's the
have really
point.
never really had interactions
Exactly.
with black people.
That's the point.
Exactly.
You know?
Because they want to get rid of us.
And you know they're gonna be scared of us, so the first thing always that's why they can always use Oh, I was fearful of my life, which is funny to me because a black man with a cell phone, a black man with a cigarette, a black man with a CD, a little kid with a toy gun, a kid with a bag of Skittles is more scarier than a white man with a machete,
Right.
a white man with an AK,
AK-47.
a white man with an AR, a white man toting guns and knives at you no matter
A
what.
white
what?
man
At the
coming
police,
to
at the
coming
police,
towards you to
never
whoop you.
stopping. But that's not as fearful as a black man standing there, or a black man reaching to get a license that you asked him to get, or a black man doing everything that you asked him to do. That's more scarier than somebody actually with a weapon coming at you. That kills me right there. Like that excuse, and keep telling everybody that we need to comply. Everybody that's coming out here that keeps saying, "Oh man, one thing y'all need to do is comply. Just comply." We've done that. We do that. Every time we get pulled over, we do that. So miss me with that. When I can sit here and see all you people of other ethnicities come around and yell at the police officers and curse them out and everything else, and I say yes sir, and I'm still getting shot.
Yeah, I'm like this. Yes sir, no sir, yes sir.
Hands where you
My
can
hand
see
ain't
'em.
moved not
You
once.
were resisting.
Not once.
The
You
crazy-
are
You're
resisting.
resisting.
You
Yup.
know,
The
you know
crazy
what
part in
And you're
Minnesota,
getting smart.
we-
You're getting smart.
My mom was having a hip replacement surgery in Minnesota a couple of years back, and this is like right around the time when the Philando Castile thing happened in Minnesota. Got shot in front of his child in the back seat for reaching for his license that the cop asked him to grab, that he shouldn't have been grabbing because he wasn't even a driver. But I got stopped and was driving back from Wisconsin to Chicago, and stopped in Wisconsin, and guy asked me like, "Hey, let me see your license." All right, listen. I'm talking to him like, "Listen, I have to reach in my back pocket to get my. I have to narrate
I
the
have to
whole
narrate
everything I'm doing
everything.
because I don't feel." And he's laughing like, "Why are you doing that?" I said, "Because I'm not trying to get shot."
This
like,
not a
Right.
joke.
and he's
It's
laughing
not-
like
it's
he's
not
laughing
funny.
like,
That's our
"Oh man, I'm not
reality.
about to do that." No, that's what's going on. Right, this is a shame that I have to sit here and do this. I have to teach my kids they have to be like this. That hey man, you get stopped. That might be the last time we ever see you.
That's our
ridiculous.
reality.
The fact that you got to tell them you cannot talk back to the police. You always have to be respectful.
Right.
But even when you're dealing with stuff like okay, you're outraged because you literally watched from start to finish this man stand on his neck and kill him. But how many times were we shot down and killed and everybody's trying to, oh, well, I mean, did he run? Like, what really happened?
What did he do?
I'll never forget.
What did you do to provoke him?
When Sandra Bland happened, and I just remember posting about it, and this white chick on my page, who has since then been blocked, had the audacity to ask me, like, she called herself attempting to be in solidarity, basically, to the whole situation, but
That
then
sound like
goes,
a fake ally.
exactly,
Right.
but then goes, yeah, I'm sure it'll come out, you know what I'm saying, what happened, like, I said, what do you mean how it happened? I said, she's laying there in the photo that they took of her, of the mugshot, and she's dead.
Right.
Like, nothing else needs to happen besides the fact that she was murdered. You know what I'm saying? And she never should have been arrested in the first place.
That part.
Oh, well, I just thought maybe, maybe like she provoked him. Okay.
You're gone.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Done.
You're done.
So now we shouldn't do or say anything, you know what I'm saying? And we don't do or say anything, but y'all can provoke people on a regular basis, you know what I'm saying? Fight with cops and still, however, make it safely to the destination.
Because even when you tell them to be
And be mad, they gonna
respectful
be late.
and
Right.
and just keep your head down and listen and keep your hands
It's not
up
enough.
too. It's not enough because then when you do that, they calling you a smart ass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Definitely
you're
have
trying
that.
to be a
Yep.
smart ass.
Right.
Yep.
You're trying to be funny. It's like
You're
Get out the car.
intentionally
I'm damned if
provoking
I
us
do.
because you're
I'm
looking
damned
for
if
a
I
problem.
don't. You know
Right.
Now I'm
I'm saying?
resisting arrest
Right.
and all that by not saying. And one more thing to these other black folks that's coming out here talking about some, well, we need to stop killing each other first, and then shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
please. Like,
White people have been killing each other
I'm so
since the
sick
beginning
of
of
that.
time.
Black
That's
on
what
black,
that
y'all
is.
think black on black crime is the only other crime that's going on. White people kill. First of all, if you're in the area, the proximity of black people all
That's
the
who
time,
you're
that's who you're gonna
that-
kill.
Yeah.
That's like it's white on white crimes. That's like it's Latino on Latino crimes.
They be
It happens,
killing their
and they
kids.
killing everybody. So
Right.
stop, miss me with that.
Stop.
Just because y'all don't know, y'all ain't learned a narrative to get us on the air to show how bunch of animals we are. This has been going on for ages, and y'all still saying it. Oh, now we can just stop killing ourselves. We only get in an uproar when somebody white kills us. That's just like, I can fight with my brother all day long. But guess what? Bet nobody else from the other block come over here and mess with Buddy. Go, I'm going to kick your ass, bruh. Plain, it's just going to be an uproar.
But
So miss me with that.
Here's the
Please.
thing. You're talking about, and I'm not saying that their job is in high stress and everything else, but if that's the case and y'all got all this money that keeps going to the police department, put it in services that you know these people need. You know what I'm saying? Like, there should be some level of counseling services available to them. There needs to be something where, like, in therapy, how many things do we take that we have to sit and I have to understand your perspective and you have to understand mine? It's a whole level of respect.
Right.
You're talking about a culture. You're putting people into an environment that they've never been in. They could care less about who you are. And the only thing that they have to go on is all these stereotypes that white people have put out about us since the beginning of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing available to them to make them successful. So as far as I'm concerned, like, the whole system failed. And it's not just the officers. Like, y'all didn't build a structure
It's
around
teachers,
them. Right.
it's judges,
There's no structure built
it's
around them that
doctors.
leaves them
Also,
accountable.
going forward though, also we got to do better. I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit. We got to do better too. We are the only. I've always felt this way, and yes, we are in Black Power movement, but this is a part of Black Power movement also. We got to support each other.
We don't do that.
We are the only culture, the only race that everybody else want to be like except for us.
Yeah.
We try, and I feel like right now we're kind of going more into a place where we're embracing us a little more, but we gotta support us. We should not be able to have all these other outside businesses come into our communities.
Right.
We gotta fight harder. We gotta do better. And we gotta support the ones that come into. For instance, I go, y'all know all about my hair. You know what I'm saying? I go to all kinds of beauty supply stores. But the Korean-owned beauty supply store down the street and the black one that's right next door to it, they probably got the same products, but the black one costs more because they're not getting the same supplier as the Korean one.
Right.
So most
Mind
people,
you, because Koreans and Chinese have shut us out of our own group, which
Yes, they
are
have.
where we get our
Yes, they
hair.
have.
So, yeah.
But most people are like, oh, nah, I'm not finna come over here and go to you and pay $9 for this. I'm gonna go over here and pay $7. No, sis.
Yeah.
Go support that black person, because guess what? The more money you give them, the more product they can bring in and might
Right.
possibly bring the prices
Not
down.
just that, it goes back into our community.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you fund and you help support black businesses, you are literally putting food in their
On their
families'
table.
mouths. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, we don't get that, but and I get you. Even with playing devil's advocate, like, you're absolutely right, but to the same degree, and we can't even focus on what's in the past, but we have to figure out how to dismantle all
Right.
the bullshit that was put around us that made us think that they were better than we were.
That's real.
Because at the end of the day, we didn't put that in our own minds.
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying? That was literally
From the very
how
start.
exactly. And so and then we separate and we got the brown paper bag bullshit and everything
Mm-hmm.
else. And so you're right. We have so much internal fighting, you know what I'm saying? And not from black on black crime, but the fact that we don't support each other.
Right.
That is our biggest, you know what I'm saying, one of our biggest plights.
That's
I think
That's
my thing
that's
is the
slavery
way
mindset.
that we are
Yeah.
coming together right now, we can't let that die off.
Yeah,
No,
that's the
we
thing.
can't.
We can't let it die off. We gotta continue to come together, stay together, and
Yeah.
grow even more. Like, start battling these businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like Bishop said the other day, hit them in their pockets.
Yeah.
Stop buying all of this
Yeah.
shit.
We have luxury brands.
We
Right.
have,
You know
even
what I'm
with
saying?
that,
We make our own watches.
like,
Like,
not even with that,
we can
man.
find a black company that does
I
anything.
know. I try to buy black all the time, and I'm steady ordering, man, shirts and
All of us
and
do. Yeah.
all our stuff, man. Clothes, whatever we can, watches, any some of my gadgets. I try to see if they black owned and made or whatnot. I said, my thing is, one thing we got to do when as we're supporting our people is stop always looking for the damn discount.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, just because it's black owned don't mean it's discounted or it has to be a family discount. Or, come on, cuz we got to get a discount here.
You should
We
want
don't do
to
that,
get-
man.
want
You
to
gotta
pay
give
full
out
price.
unless that person tells you, hey man, I'm gonna charge you this for it. Stop going there looking for. Oh man, come on. You're going. I don't never see not nan nigga rocking Gucci
Asking for a
everything else, and
discount.
going into a Gucci store in Beverly Hills saying, "Hey, let me get a discount. What's up, cuz? Can I get my discount?" Nah, it don't happen. Y'all don't do it. You don't ask for it. But whenever it's a black-owned thing, the first thing we ask for is, what's the discount? If you gonna support your people, bruh. You don't go in Foot Locker, you don't go to Nike and say, let me get a discount on them mics. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't go in there saying, let me get a discount on them ones. Once Nelly started driving up the price of it, you know what I'm saying? Did nobody do anything. We just kept paying the price. That's
Right.
all it was. Did nobody say anything. So now, but soon as my cousin come out here and get his clothing line and he want them to support, oh man, I can't do the
Cousin,
40,
hook me
bro.
up.
Man,
Yeah,
let me
this-
get 20.
yeah.
I'll get 25. Come on, man, 25 for the hoodie, nigga. Come on, bro, stop it. But you would get Nike 100 for that same hoodie.
Same
You know
hoodie.
what
But
I'm saying?
here's
That's
the
made
thing.
with the same material.
Right. That we don't. For those who don't actually understand, like, to be a black business,
Try to go through.
to survive as a black business, you're talking about everybody being against you. They're not giving us loans.
No.
Okay, they're not giving us business loans. They're not giving us loans for brick and mortar. And so whatever,
Maybe that
most of the
one, God
time that
bless
we
you.
do, we literally have to start in our pockets with nothing. A lot of these white companies, they're handed down from one to the other, or their parents give them a huge lump sum to start with. You're talking about literally grassroots. And so no, every time it cannot be, you know what I'm saying, cheapened as far as the price and everything else is concerned. There are no discounts because they're literally taking their last to be able to build something.
And miss me with the ones that are saying, oh, well, we got to set up, or, well, your parents should have set you up better. No, fuck you. My parents did the best that they could with the little that they had.
First of all,
Right,
be a
not
parent.
just that.
Be a
Yeah,
parent
be a
first.
parent, right.
Be a parent
But not
first.
just that. Then if that's the case, then you're stupid in the first place, and you clearly haven't been listening to everything else that's been said. When you're talking about systematic racism, our parents weren't all put in positions that they could leave something for us.
Right,
When you're
exactly.
talking about the wage, you know what I'm saying, and the cost of living going up while our wages have remained the same for those who work, you know what I'm saying, minimum wage jobs, I'm sorry. How are you supposed to save shit with that?
What can
know
you
what I'm saying?
save with the
Better
money
yet,
you making?
Exactly.
And you
What
make
are you
more than
doing
what they
right
made
now?
then.
Exactly. So you're like you said, miss me with all that bullshit. And so if you're going to support, understand that you're not just supporting a business and a family or something that's growing. Like, you're literally supporting your own culture. You're supporting your own history, because what we build now becomes a part of our history. And so do you want to be the one standing there saying, oh damn, I could have supported, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, but I didn't. I went to these other, you know, these white folks who were able to give it to me for half the price. But I'm so proud of you. You made it, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
without me. Like,
Y'all legit, like, I always say this, we set the tone for America. Back in the day, it was
We set
not
the tone
cool
for the world.
Yeah, we do. That's real talk, because in China, they trying to be just like us.
exactly.
Like, we set the
Japan's
tone for
same.
everybody, period. I'm going to say that right now, and I can say that with all the confidence and the ebullience in me. We set the tone, period. Like, back in the day, it was not cool. They tried to make it not cool to have big lips,
Yep.
Mhm.
big
Yeah.
butts,
Yep.
big
Now
hair.
Botox.
Now
Now y'all
look at the
And
Kim
booty
Kardashians.
injections.
Look at everybody getting hella lip injections.
Y'all done made
Hella
Dr.
butt
Miami
injections.
rich.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because they are trying their
White girls
hardest
To
looking
be
like
us.
black
to
girls.
look like us. They getting tan.
And y'all still hate y'all.
You getting tanned over and over and over again. I had one always came to me and was like, "Oh, now I'm the same color as you." But excuse my language, you could never be the same color as me. Do you not understand that? I don't care how many times you get tan, because guess what? The more you get tan, the more orange you get.
I can't stand the folks that you want to look like the Kardashians and everything else, but then they try their best to look like you. That
part.
just puzzles me.
Yeah, that
But
part,
even
I
with
understand.
another what's next is, how about y'all start taking the time to educate your children
Please.
on what's going
Yeah.
on this
Please.
next gen?
Yeah.
Because like I had a discussion with on another podcast the other day, and discussion was our generation is not the ones that's gonna fix anything. What's gonna make it better is just following generation. They don't have to deal with the BS that we doing unless we keep teaching them. Racism is taught. Love is taught. You know what I'm saying? This right here, but
Prejudice is
your history is what's taught. We're the only people that has a broken part in our history from where we're from. But we had a point where our grandparents sat down and talked about what was going on, and where you came from, how much pride it is in being black, how much pride it is in having your name that you have, where you come from. And now nobody takes pride in it anymore. Like, it's being, because we listen to the TV, we listen to everybody say that being black is horrible. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's not the best thing. But right now, and the only thing that comes to is because nobody sit and teaches these kids. Granny is 30 years old now, so she not teaching your grandkids.
She don't know the history.
Ain't no big mama no more.
Right.
So ain't no history no more. So we don't talk about it, and we don't teach our kids what's going on, what to be proud of who they are. Your kids, because 9 times out of 10, we want to send our kids to a better school, and guess what a better school is? Y'all say it's in the white neighborhood, so they can be around. They can be the only speck up in a white school, and they're confused now. Now they don't know who they are, because guess what? So they just relying on what the school teach them,
which is nothing. And you're not teaching them either. Like, I have a daughter that's going to school in a predominantly white school where there's only few little nigglets up in there, and y'all sit there and they don't teach them anything about Black History Month. They've done studies on Jewish in Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you serious right now? And I mean, it's worse than when I was in school. 'Cause, I mean, at least I had like 5 pages that they not teaching these kids nothing to be proud of anything, and they're cool with that. And then we always want to have our little mixed kids and everything else too, so they can look pretty and have cute curls and all this other stuff. And so, but what I hate about it is we don't teach them about the black side. That mixed kid knows every side they are, except for being black.
Right.
And they're not proud of being black until only the time they proud to be black is they can say nigga. That's what makes them great, so they can say nigga. Until the police pull them over and tell them that they black and bust their head, then y'all sitting there like, oh my God, this shouldn't be happening.
I didn't prepare them for
life.
I
didn't prepare them for life. Yeah, you prepared them for a false life,
right?
A fairy tale life.
The other thing I think we have to make sure of, and I think that goes not just to our kids, but educating ourselves. Like, there is a disconnect in our history,
Yep.
but our history did not start with slavery.
Nope.
Yeah.
Just like other cultures can go back, thousands of years, hundreds of thousands, as far as who their civilizations and whatnot were, we have that same ability.
Yeah.
When we, when they talk about, like, did you know that, the fact that we love gold the way we do, like, kings and queens, literally, their guards were standing at the door with herringbone looking plated gold. Like, these are parts of our history that even after a major disconnect, we're still connected to.
Right.
Our hair, the styles that we choose, that we use. Did you know that comes from the motherland? Like, we didn't make that up in slavery. Even down to the cooking methods we use, they're no different than what they used back then. And so, how can we empower each other and our kids if all we think we know is slavery? Like, when's the last time you talked about, the warriors that were part of, everybody thinks that, Lincoln is the one who freed us. No, we freed ourselves.
Right.
Like, there was a revolution. So the entire whole, I'm not my ancestors, is like, no, you are embarrassing your ancestors.
First of all, you part of the problem too.
Right.
You part of the problem too.
Because if you don't understand who they were and who they fought, exactly, you have become docile. When we started talking, and I'm personally, like, as far as desegregating things, that's great. But the moment I feel like we did that, we lost ourselves, because we started looking at things like what they have is better than what we have. And that was after y'all had already burned down all of our Black Wall Streets.
Right.
And so we've literally had not just one disconnect from our culture, but several. Because anytime we rebuilt ourselves, you all have come in and rioted and torn it down.
Figured out a way to get rid of it.
Right. And so if we're going to tell our history, you need to tell where they came from.
Yep.
You need to tell what we've done since we've been here.
Right.
You need to tell, when you go down the streets in DC, a black man is the one who built all these roads, who put this together like this. Like, when's the last time when you flipped on the lights, you said, hey, guess what? black
Black
man
man
created
did
that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like
Even
we
the
have
simplest
My
thing
home
of-
city, Chicago, a black man founded this,
Thank
baby.
you, right?
You know,
But the
Even the
water
sim-
gun,
right, even
you
the
know what I'm saying?
simplest
Like
thing
is
simple shit, right?
refrigerated trucks.
Cell
A
phone,
black man invented that.
right?
All these refrigerated
Right.
trucks.
That
like,
I can't get right now because I
All
can't
y'all
get
be
along
dead if
with
y'all
my
had
black
a heart
ass.
attack if it wasn't for a black man. So
There we go.
Yeah.
Who
Not-
was the
not-
one doing
and
triple
not-
bypass
and not-
surgeries?
Not
Yeah,
Ben
yeah.
Carson. We're not talking.
No, we're not talking about Ben Carson.
Ben Carson because
Well,
That nigga's a coon.
nigga is somebody is another
him
somebody.
and the Candace Owens and all those other
Right.
words, y'all can miss me with them. Y'all can go
And it's
ahead.
a
Y'all
shame
can have
because
them.
he was
Y'all can have
a role
them.
model
He,
of mine.
I mean
Until
Ben
I heard
Carson
him
back
speak.
in the day was
That was my
was,
dude.
Was
I want to
that
be
dude,
like him when
you know
I
what
grew
I'm
up.
saying? Like you wrote about him, you
I did.
studied him,
I did.
but we did not know that there was somebody before him
No, we didn't.
that did it. And now we know
Now we
that
know.
Ben Carson you're officially written off the list.
Right.
Well,
You weren't
thankfully
first.
in Chicago they didn't teach us about Ben Carson, so I knew about the first dude that did it.
I was over to say, wait a minute, that's not the dude I learned.
Right. 'Cause I didn't even know what Ben Carson until he started talking about Donald Trump. Who is this nigga? Plain and simple. That was me. And I'm like, I don't even know this nigga and I don't like him now. So
the book.
that was
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he had a
So
book.
that's quite all right.
Is that bullshit?
They didn't teach us that. So I can tell you in my social studies book,
Maybe in Chicago we knew.
I had a
Like,
whole
no, not that dude.
5 pages that talked about Martin Luther King,
Yeah,
Rosa Parks, George Washington Carver, and that was it.
We didn't even have
We didn't
George
even
Washington
know.
Carver in
No,
our
we-
book.
You didn't have a peanut?
Let me tell you, we had the
Everybody
peanut
had
guy. We
I
had the
didn't have
peanut.
mine.
They
I
had
didn't
the
have my
peanut.
history
But
book.
let me tell you how they only dealt with Egypt,
We didn't
and
get
you
Egypt.
didn't even know it was in Africa.
We didn't get Egypt.
We didn't.
We
get
got Egypt. And it's deep because as a kid, I remember being in elementary school being so drawn to this culture. Like, I feel like these are my people. But there was nowhere in the book to tell me
Right.
that these were my people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I was obsessed with learning about them, not understanding there was a connection there. But when you talk to me about America, miss me with all that shit. Like, because y'all not telling real American history
No.
to
All
begin
I
with.
got was the African slave ship, the picture that they had.
Yeah,
in the
with all
book,
the
with all
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did get the
people,
slave
the
ship.
way
Yeah.
they were on there. I got that, and then it jumped from there to Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks,
Yeah.
and
They threw Christmas addicts in for us.
I never had. See, I didn't get any of that.
We got
I didn't
You know
get
what?
any of that.
It
It
depends
literally
on
was
what
Martin
teacher you
Luther
had.
King,
Yeah, I think so.
Rosa
Yeah,
Parks,
yeah.
and then it jumped
think
from
so.
Rosa Parks to like Ruby Bridges.
Ruby Bridges.
We didn't
yes.
even get Ruby
That's
Bridges.
all I
We
got.
got Ruby
That's
Bridges.
all I got.
I didn't learn about, and I promise to this day, I say it all the time, I didn't learn about Malcolm X until Spike Lee dropped the movie, and I think that was, 93-ish, and I think I was like in 7th grade or whatever it was when it came out. But even then, till I got in high school, and I had African-American history teacher who was on, I love you, thank you, man, great. Like, he had us, that's when I first read the autobiography of Malcolm X. That's when he was teaching us about Stokely Carmichael. He was teaching us about the Black Panthers. And that's when I was like, yo, I can't, I was always wondering why I couldn't relate to Martin Luther King the way I wanted to, like everybody else said I should have.
Malcolm
But
was
my
my
personality was like,
Yeah.
that was Malcolm
was
X.
my
I just
dude.
became so infatuated
not.
with Malcolm
Yeah.
X's story and everything else. And I'm like, yo, I mean, that was like my favorite book. I think I read that book like 3 times. And then he's still doing more research. Then the internet pops up, so now I can do more research on him and stuff like that. And it's like, and that's why then Stokely Carmichael, then the Black Panthers. I'm like,
Yeah.
bruh, this is amazing
Yeah.
right here. The Marcus Gardner.
Why don't we
this
know
is
this?
amazing.
Right.
Why didn't we know about the
Right,
Nat
right.
Turners? I didn't know about this. They didn't tell us about Nat Turner over here killing these punks. They didn't tell us
None.
nothing about this.
Nothing.
And it's like, bruh, this is amazing.
That's
like,
because they don't want us to ride.
No.
Get
Exactly.
Let
rowdy
me
and
tell you
ride
something.
up.
The biggest threat to them is a educated black person with some type of ownership.
Yeah.
That's their biggest threat,
Oh yeah.
especially if a black man in a suit.
Yeah.
that ain't going to court.
That is a big that
Right.
ain't going to. I think the blessing, because we go way back. The blessing for us is that we had parents that sought out
Yes.
ways for us to know, understand, learn, and
Yeah.
embrace.
Shout out to Bright Lights Bookstore.
Yes,
But
bright
even,
lights.
Wood,
even past that,
bright
y'all
lights.
still had grandparents and great grandparents and great uncles and that sat there and taught
And
you
we
guys
had-
what's
we
going
had
on.
to
our
sit
history
down and learn it.
the real way.
Exactly.
Your history
even
was
though
passed down from one
we
generation to
did
the
not
next.
always want to hear the same
Who does?
story.
Honestly, I did.
Yeah, well,
Because
you're
I
right.
was different. I was kind of the
we
nerd.
didn't want to hear the same story.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
wanted
I did.
to go play. You know what I'm saying?
Especially when shit got riled up.
The best thing about it is that, and it once again goes back to the parenting. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nothing wrong with parenting your kids the way your mama and your grandparents parented their kids. Because guess what? They got us.
Right.
So they did something right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there were mistakes made. You can learn from those mistakes. But
You gonna make some too. so
make
don't
your
worry about it.
kids, make your
Right.
kids get off of their devices and sit down
Right.
when their grandparents or their great grandparents are in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Make them sit there, even if they don't want to, because they need to pick up on that history. Because ain't nobody documenting our stuff unless we do it correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the blessing was that our parents sought out ways for us to learn and
Right.
embrace our culture, even our schools. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Thankfully, we went to, a predominantly black school that taught us about our history.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
How
saying?
many of y'all know the African flag?
Right, exactly. Like we had to learn,
Yeah.
lift every voice and sing, not
Oh,
just the
yeah.
first verse,
Oh yeah.
but
All the
every verse.
verses.
Like that.
We had to learn the
Three
entire
verses.
thing. We had to learn the black salute or whatever it was
Right.
called. Right.
Red,
Pledge of
black,
Allegiance.
and green.
We had to learn all of that stuff. And people don't want to take the time out to do, and you have so many opportunities to
do
research.
it. Yeah.
To do the research. Go into your kid's school and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And volunteer.
Yeah.
Volunteer from a teacher. Volunteer. We like it. We appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Because your kids is bad. And I bet y'all know now because y'all at home with them. They bad. So, okay. I bet you disciplining now.
But just go ahead, man. It's about that preparing that next generation, man.
Right.
Because I laughed at my guy said his kids in his generation, they don't see color. And
I'm so tired of hearing that
I
bullshit.
said I laughed at it because the funny part is some of these kids that's 10, 12, 11 years old, they actually don't unless they talk like, yo, you're black,
Right.
whatever, but they don't
Right.
see the
They're just
hate.
people.
They don't understand it because they're not taught it.
Right.
And I said, that's crazy. That's funny because I like, man, he was like, man, I asked my kid, like, you got a friend, whatever. You like, first thing I am like, are they black or white? He's like, does it matter that? I'm like, nah, it don't matter. I said, my daughter knows it matters.
Yeah.
to me. So, hey,
that's just the
you
real
know, it is
world,
just
though.
it's just me because I don't, and no matter, I'm never telling my kids not to have any type of friends. I'm not that guy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I said, but I want you to understand that it's just
There's a difference.
it's a difference between the way they're raised, it's a difference between their culture compared to
Yeah.
our culture. It's a difference, and I refuse to let you go out and think
Right.
that this is their way is going to be the right way, or this is how it's supposed to be, and this is that. Nah, man, I'm not buying
compromising
that.
your blackness for them.
Exactly. I'm never doing that. I'm not compromising who I am
Yeah.
Yeah.
to make you look great. That's
Right.
not what I do. That's not what I'm here for. I mean, at work and anywhere else. And that's just not
Yeah.
me.
And unfortunately, if we don't teach them that, somebody else is gonna teach them that, and it ain't gonna be in the good way.
Nope.
No, it's not.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a thing of that. No, we don't want you to have white friends or anything like that. Look, we grew up with everybody.
Everybody.
We grew up, and and the thing about us as a culture, we get along with everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with everybody, to tell you the truth.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I
I didn't
did.
get to everybody until I was in high school. I had a milk
We
pot.
get along. Us
Yeah,
as a
everybody
culture,
did.
because we are so accepting, which can sometimes be a problem.
Is a problem.
It is a problem, but we are accepting and we get along with everybody. But the problem is that somebody, no matter where you go, somebody gonna remind you out of all
Yep.
these cultures
Yeah.
of who
You black.
you are,
Who they think
That-
you are.
right? That
Right.
who they think you are, the
Yep.
stereotype of who you are. And so in that case, instead of me being out here naive and not teaching my child about who they are and how precious who they are is, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, have your friends, have your friends of different cultures, because number one, the other thing is you don't know who you're gonna meet.
Me, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because every time that we have had to progress in this nation, which sucks, we've had to have some type of ally from another race. You know what I'm saying? And so, yes, have your friends of the United Nations for sure, but remember who you are, and that you are black, honey.
Let me tell you.
You are black.
The interesting thing, and my daughter's homeschooled, and so, but in the summer, you know, she's in camp or whatever, and so, like, we've always instilled in her who she was. Like, the first time I ever played with a doll was when I took a doll's head and made it kinky, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I didn't mess with dolls like that. But the point was that I needed something that looked like her. And so with everything that has been poured into her, most of Madison's little friends and the people that she's around are not black. We finally found black people with tennis, you know what I'm saying? But prior to that, they haven't been. But there is no environment that she's gone into that she does not know who she is.
Right.
Like, almost to the point of making other people uncomfortable.
But
Like,
I'm
you know
so
what I'm saying?
glad
But
for that,
to
though.
the point where when you ask your best friend or your little friend
Right.
who's white, you know what I'm saying, does she know
Did
who
your
her
people
ancestors
own
were?
my people?
Because I need to make sure your people didn't own my people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But you know what? That's what we all need to start doing. Make everybody out there who's got allies, make them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Have these conversations with
You
them.
absolutely
See where they
right.
stand.
Because guess what?
See
We
where
make
they
ourselves
stand.
uncomfortable.
Do
So
it early.
Right.
Yep.
why can't
Right.
we make anybody else? This is why everything race related has to be taboo. Like, we gotta sit here and not say nothing just to make everybody else
No,
feel.
we
oh
done
my
with
God.
that.
Yeah.
No,
It's okay.
we
No,
done
like,
with
no,
that. It
you
ain't
gon-
taboo no
you
more.
You're gonna hear my plights. You're gonna hear my
Everything.
disagreeableness about
Everything.
it. You're gonna hear it about it. If I don't like it, I'm gonna let you know.
And if you look at me sideways, if you say something stupid, it's a wrap. I know exactly
at the
what
same
to put
time-
you
And
in
miss
and
me
how to
with
move.
the well, they do this, but you're cool.
no.
Nah.
No. And see, I've taken this last week, and every business, I had to tell Madison, I said, baby, we can't go back to Sidecar Donuts, girl. They did not support the movement.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
And it was one of those, wow, that's terrible. Are you serious they didn't? And it was like, yeah, but it's a
I'm like,
disappointing.
Ross, please
But she
support.
gets it. You know what I'm saying? But would she get it had she not been given
Right.
the history that, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, she's been given? I never forget when my mom almost killed me because I told her that 4th of July, you know what I'm saying, wasn't for black
That's
people.
not for us.
The baby
Juneteenth,
hasn't wanted to see
Juneteenth,
right.
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
Hey, y'all
June
better be out there
19th.
Exactly.
giving energy to it too.
Right.
Boy.
There you
Like,
go.
y'all-
We done already
man,
working on our celebration.
Give
but
it energy.
like,
For real.
just where do we have to do that for ourselves. We have to do that for our kids because if we don't, nobody will. You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
everybody else can celebrate their independence. Like, we got
Right.
Cinco de Mayo, we
Right.
got all these other ones
Right.
going on. But
So why aren't we
we got the
celebrating
Irish
ours?
ones, we got all of us.
And we
us,
celebrate all of those.
We celebrate
my
everybody
God.
else's except for
but
ours.
but
Be too happy
most
for
of
Cinco de
those
Mayo.
are
I
because
know
we
Cinco
didn't
de
even
Mayo
know
ain't
about
right.
ours.
I mean, I'll be honest.
Cinco
I
de
know
Mayo
about
is not
Juneteenth till
we know
about
Cinco de
know.
Mayo is not your Independence
We
Day.
know.
Yeah,
6
but
years
no,
ago?
but I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we have to
No,
do
we
the
know. I'm just
research
saying,
for
yeah.
ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is shit we didn't know. You know, and so if
gotta
we don't,
educate
if
ourselves.
exactly, so like the cards that you bought, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
that
yeah.
the STEM and the Black History cards, like, I can't tell you how much I enjoy going through them as much as Madison does because a lot of it is information I didn't even
I enjoy
read.
hearing about it.
Yeah.
Right. I
Yeah.
love
Having
hearing
them
the
do-
stories.
That's
and
real
reading
because I
about
didn't
it.
know
What's
that
names?
a black man had invented refrigerated trucks until I went into one of my schools, one of my sites, and they had it's a great site. Shout out to Richland Elementary.
Richmond!
But they have like all these different kinds of like black people and stuff for Black History Month all around the entire auditorium. And me and the site director were like, wait a minute, a black man invented refrigerated
Right.
trucks? Really? It's like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like because like the Super Soaker. Remember the Super Soaker? Like for the longest.
I didn't know until we saw the lawsuit.
Exactly.
Right.
I didn't either.
Look, I'm working in an all-black school in Chicago, and I never forget coming home and being like, do you know that they think February is Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
They have no idea that it's Black History Month.
Because
And
Black
so-
History is not in school.
Right,
anymore.
but when March came around,
Go to home.
best believe women's history was all over the
everywhere.
place. You know, I changed my entire curriculum.
Yep.
It's the only thing they learned
Breast
about black
cancer,
chefs,
whatever it is.
first black cookbooks, black restaurants, you know what I'm saying, black owners. What is sharecropping?
Right. Right.
We bringing in a whole farm, y'all.
Right.
Bring it on in. But like we have to do that for ourselves, and we have to be dogmatic about it because
Yeah.
nobody else is going to.
And take the classes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the greatest thing that I
Yeah.
did at Columbia was take their Black Arts Movement class. Shout out to Columbia College, Chicago, and Mariah that used to teach a Black Arts Movement class. Like, when I tell you, I learned stuff that I couldn't even find in a book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was eye opening. It made me want to go out and do something for my community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I still talk to people that I took that class with because we came together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just like people don't want to take the time out to learn this stuff. Like, learn it. Knowledge is power.
Yeah, it is. Can I share something?
But want to know who you are.
Yeah, yeah. But if you start with nowhere, you don't know who you are. So you got to do the research so you can learn who you are.
Right.
Learn who your people are because their blood is pumping through our veins too.
Yeah.
But, and I wanted to bring up when we were talking about uplifting each other. I love Columbia. I love, you know what I'm saying, just, it's an amazing school. But when we start talking about how we deal with one another,
Yeah.
one of my favorite classes had my worst teacher in it.
Mhm.
And I loved her. She was brilliant, she was black, she was sharp, and she hated me. I did not realize she hated me until after I took my second class.
That's real.
And I should have gotten an A in the one when she didn't give me the A.
Mhm.
I never should have taken the other class because I should have had the A.
Mhm.
I didn't find out until after I was gone that she actually hated me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And so we can't put ourselves in a position where we're pulling each other down. Like,
Right.
we get enough of that from them.
Yeah.
We can't do that to each other. I
Right.
have worked in 2 kitchens with white women as owners. And the moment they saw me and what I did and my product and who my clients were, it was a problem.
Mhm.
I expect that from them.
Mhm.
I do not expect to get that from my own people.
Mhm.
And so we got to do better.
Yeah.
We got to do better. And I like, everybody loves, and I know this is kind of off, but the whole, you know what I'm saying, like even the music we listen to, even the things that we like it hits and it's dope, but when I think about the words, like I don't know how I feel about calling myself a savage. You know what I mean? Like, and see, for me, we've never with my friends called each other bitches and stuff like that. Like, for
Right.
me, there was a level of respect. That's just not what you do. If I'm using that word, it's because I don't like you. Not, you know what I'm saying, for any other reason. That's not everybody.
Right.
Most people use that, and it's a word of love. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I just don't, and maybe that's just how I was raised. But in my mind, it's always, I mean, like, a savage? A bad bitch? Like, you know what I'm saying? I guess for the different generation,
Mhm.
like, you know what I'm saying, it's cool. But when I think of a savage, like, I don't think of a positive person. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. And so when I think of myself, it's like, yeah, I'm a savage. Like, that shit hits, but am I really a savage? You know? Like, it's stuff like that I just think that mentally we download certain shit into our spirit.
Yeah.
And we begin to project it, and we don't even always realize what we're projecting. But then we can be angry about something like don't do this, don't treat me like this, but we kind of put ourselves in a position sometimes that made us look like that because of what we've seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's my own personal opinion.
Nah,
I still like
cool.
the song though. You know.
Nah, it's just, man, my thing with, just the,
Classy, bougie, ratchet.
It's the ratchet part, but what's the second part that she does? Classy, bougie, ratchet, and then there's a second 3 sets of words.
Nasty. Something. Nasty, silly, nasty, or something like that.
Yeah, it was just
What's
like
that
2
mean?
words. I was like, I don't know if I identify with those. You know what I mean? But I know a lot of people do. And so it's just, but to me it's like all of those pieces go in how we deal with music, how we promote ourselves, how we put ourselves out there, and then, oh, we're sexualized. White folks were sexualizing us long before, we put it
was
in
on slave but naked.
Right, exactly. And then gynecology has only made, the leaps and bounds that it has made at black women's expense.
Amen.
And so, but within that, it's like, how do we build ourselves so that we know that we're worthy of, of success, of love, of equality, but to the same degree, just the culture, like the music and the other things that we listen to, like we have to take some credit for some of that shit.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Most definitely. But I think the place that we're at, like I said before, the place that we're at right now, all of us are coming together.
It's ground zero, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I certainly hope so.
It's
feel
hashtag BPRU, Black People Rise Up.
It feel like it's ground zero right now. Like,
I hope so.
Where everything is.
I hope so too. I hope it's not just a fad.
Right.
I pray it's not. But this, I mean, honestly, like, I honestly haven't seen black folks like stand up for something like this since Rodney King got his ass whooped, Joe.
Yeah.
Like, and just that only happened in one city. That was out here. They wasn't looting in Chicago for this.
True.
They wasn't looting in Minnesota for this. They wasn't rioting and protesting in D.C. for that. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time in my life where I've seen every major city in this country.
Not even this country. All
But I mean, I'm just saying. Other people will throw support for black people before we do. You know what I'm saying? And
there's all white places like Portland. You know what I'm saying?
And people are, and they're out there protesting and everything. I've never seen it, so it kind of feels like a ground zero. I hope it is.
But we gotta keep doing
it. But we gotta keep pressing
to
it.
Down.
Yeah, and they still.
After last week, but shout out to all the protesters that are still out there, that are going out there every day.
Big one here yesterday, man.
LA was packed yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cali. You know what I mean? Shout out to LA. And you know, they're still showing up, which is dope. Like, we're dope. And the allies that are going out there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which should be. But, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we thank y'all too.
Yeah,
for
we
y'all
thank
support,
y'all. Most
because
definitely.
like you said, we have always needed an ally to get shit done.
We vetting.
Unfortunately.
We doing mad vetting.
Yeah, that part too. Wait, I started going on and was being like, all right, did they just put up a black picture with a heart?
Ain't gonna be no just
BLM,
you go black picture,
right.
Black Lives Matter, and then you go back to your okie doke the next week.
If it's something that y'all want to know honestly and sincerely, you want to know, ask. If you got that quote unquote black friend, why can't you talk to them? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure that person will talk to you and tell you some plights and some gripes they got with what's going on with anything, plain and simple.
I got an inbox full.
If you want to start understanding us, how about you talk to us? You have to communicate with us instead of just taking what the media puts out about us walking around here. So, I mean, with that, man, I just ended up with like, this is, I hope this is a ground zero. I hope this is a new beginning. I hope this is a great teaching point for the next generation. I hope this is a great rebuilding point for our generation to get started. It's funny that it happened towards right now during this pandemic, where I've seen people be so creative with everything that they're doing right now inside of home. You found different hobbies and creativity that you came out of this than ever before. You know what I'm saying? To be able to sit down and do stuff. And you just hope that once everything opens up, you don't forget it. You keep on moving. We keep with the togetherness.
Right.
Yes.
One thing we've been great alone, but we'll be better together, and that's real. You know what I'm saying? So, man, keep pushing, man. Keep supporting each other. I've seen so many black people trying to buy what some other black person is making or has made while they were sitting home in quarantine because everybody know they needed some extra money.
Mm-hmm.
It's been great. Don't stop now.
Right.
Don't stop now, man. This is the time where you're supposed to keep pressing.
Because
I promise you, in some of those neighborhoods I know in Chicago, neighborhoods I grew up in Rosen, it was very black. And then it turned really white, but still tore up because of black people still being in there, ownership-wise. And just believe when these buildings they done tore down and looted it and everything else, And we say, oh, well, they got the insurance. Yeah, and they'll come back and build. That's fine and dandy. But let's get some black people back in there doing that because that's who it was at first.
Right.
And we were prospering before they came and threw drugs and everything else in our areas and stuff like that and tried to take us out of there, in which they did. And they started making money off us. But we allowed it because you know why?
Right.
We always the ones that say, "Come on,
Yeah.
join in,
Right.
everybody," except for
We're
our stuff,
accepting.
Right.
except for our
We're
people.
accepting.
But everybody else, we want to be accepted and
Right.
bring them in and everything like that, man. But it should be a newfound togetherness around here.
One other thing.
What's that?
Stop selling your family homes.
Oh yes.
Gentrification is real. We have watched in our own community young people coming in, selling their parents' homes to white folks.
Please. Yeah.
And our communities no longer look like us.
Nope.
And so if you're getting the cops called on you in your own community,
That's your fault.
right, because your neighbor didn't recognize that they were in a black community and they don't know what you look like because all black people look the same, that's a problem.
Yeah, we have people
Stop
come over
selling our
man,
homes.
I'm so glad I discovered
Property.
this.
I
That
found,
is
I found
where
this
that was my
area. I'm sorry.
You weren't lost.
Right, it's always been here.
I felt like the Indians for real. Like, bro, wasn't we here? Like, we were here. You did not discover this area right here. Like we're literally standing right. You're
Right.
telling us
Right,
this.
because
Like,
all these
so
homes have been here.
They have
Also,
been here.
It's not new.
What,
And you bought it from a black
white,
person.
My white and other United Nations counterparts, you can support me, and I thank y'all, and I thank y'all for supporting the black community, but you don't have to wear kente cloth. You don't have to go out and get a pick. You don't have to dread your hair
White people,
because
stop white
that's
people.
nasty. I'm talking about white people that dread their
Stop
hair.
white
Like, that's
people, man,
nasty.
'cause that's
You know what I'm
just-
saying? Like, you don't have to go that extra
It's too
mile.
much.
Unsanitary.
You don't have to do that because that crosses the line into
Yeah,
like
now
mocking
that's a whole nother
and
problem.
disrespectful. Like, just be you. Just be you.
Or
Just
better
be you and
yet,
support me.
And
ask before you do that.
Yes, you can ask.
Would this be okay? And don't ask the dude that always says yes to everything that you
Right,
want.
that's the Uncle
Don't ask-
Tom I
don't
was
ask
just
that
talking
guy.
about.
Don't
Don't
ask
ask
that
him.
Or that one black friend that gave you a nigga pass.
Right.
Nah, don't
Ask-
ask that
ask
person. You better
Tyrone.
ask somebody else outside the circle.
Who won't ever let you say that word.
And you can't
Right.
use the word. I don't care how cool you are.
Nah.
You can't do it.
That's
Period.
why everybody
Anyway,
trying to
go.
be mixed so they can say the word. I told you it's cool so they can say the word nigga, Joe. So they can just walk up to you and say my nigga. And that's that.
I'm gonna just start smacking the shit out of people.
I already do.
I'm
Don't
sorry,
even-
what?
That's real.
Don't
Let's
even
try
say it.
again.
I'm a minority too, but you're
But
not
yeah.
this minority.
Right.
Oh my gosh, miss me with that bullshit. No, we're all the same. No,
We're
motherfucker,
not.
we are
We're
not the
We're
same.
not.
You haven't built shit.
Ain't nobody hung you and called you no nigga, Joe. So I ain't trying to hear
That
that,
part.
at all, bro.
First
So you
question,
can miss me
oh,
with that.
what book are you reading right now? The Debt. What's the debt? What America owes to black people?
Right.
Anywho, go
That
ahead.
part. So, just with it off, man, I want to thank Kirsten and Xavier and D coming on, man, and man, getting that out there, state of affairs, what's going on in the country today, how we can, some solutions of how we can move on and go on the next step. Man, just, hey man, love on some black people, bro. That's all
Yeah.
I'm asking y'all to do, man. Love on some black people. Black folks, love on some
Each
black
other.
folks, bro.
Yes.
Like, man, we need that. We need that for sure. And
Shout
man,
out to Black Love.
Black love all
And we're
day. Black
praying
lives
for
matter.
all of those families that have lost your family members due to police brutality.
Definitely.
We are praying for even
All
the
those
even
names.
the
Not even
names
just
that we
police
don't know.
brutality. The ones that were killed by white, Asian, or other who
Yeah.
have not been brought to justice
Yeah.
or were gotten off
Yeah.
for
Sitting
nothing.
at home chilling,
Yeah,
they
we're
get
praying
the,
for,
Right.
or
praying for
lose
all
a job and go to another city and be a cop again,
Right.
Yeah.
and whatever the case may be, or being a security guard and want to kill somebody because you thought you was helping guard something, whatever. But yeah, man, just let's use this time as bettering ourselves, bettering our next generation, man, and man, just keep moving, man.
BPRU.
BPRU, no doubt. Black
people
Lives
rise
Matters,
up.
man.
Black
Black
Lives
people rise
Matter.
up.
And we out this piece, man. Catch y'all on the next one. For sure.
Better 'em all.
Appreciate y'all, man.